Hi everyone, Liz here. I wanted to share with you guys my lunchtime flow on Mondays. It's going to be a gentle practice, cultivating some mindfulness of how our body feels when we move, as well as finding our breath. So what are you going to need? So you can grab a blanket. Blankets are really good to prop yourself up on, as well as bring the floor to you if you need it. Yoga blocks if you have them. If you don't, you can use a box of pasta, you can use some books, but again, props are good. They bring the floor to you, especially if you can't quite reach it yet, depending on your flexibility. So let's get started. So let's find a nice comfortable seated position. You can roll up your blanket and sit your hips on that. It'll make seating a little bit more comfortable here. We're going to be here for a little bit finding our breath. So once you find that nice comfortable seated position, let's go ahead and close our eyes. Just feeling our breath here. Feeling our inhales and our exhales. Feeling our belly rise and fall. Breathing in through our nose and out through our nose. You can place one hand on your belly, one hand on our heart. Feeling our belly push into our bottom hand on our inhale and fall on our exhale. Sending our attention to our top hand on our heart. Feeling our heart and our chest expand on that inhale and fall on that exhale. You can keep your hands where they are, or you can return them back to a comfortable spot, maybe on top of your knees. Continuing to feel your breath as we check in with our posture. Taking notice of how our shoulders are sitting right now. Are you slouching over? Are you leaning back? Let's inhale our shoulders to our ears as we slide them down our back. Aligning our shoulders to the top of our hips. And breathing. Slowly transitioning into an equal part breathing. Let's inhale for a count of 3. And exhale for a count of 3. This is your count. It can be as quick or as slow as you want. As you breathe in, feeling your belly expand. And as you exhale, feeling it release. Let's do 2 more rounds of this equal part breathing. And after your last round, release all your efforts and just breathe. Let's bring our hands to heart center. And maybe there's a slight tuck of your chin here. Let's take this moment to set an intention for our practice today. To acknowledge your intention, let's take a deep inhale in, open our mouth and exhale. Now taking this moment to let go of something that no longer serves us or something you might be holding on to. And when you find that something, and it can be just something that's little, let's take a deep inhale in and let it go. Let's slowly begin to blink our eyes open. Inhaling our arms to the sky. Maybe you send your gaze there as well. Exhale down, using our full breath here. Inhale, arms rise. And exhale, come down. Good, we'll add a twist. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, twist to the right, gaze over that back shoulder. Let's sit nice and tall. Exhale, maybe twist a little bit more. Inhale, arms rise, come center. Exhale, twist to the left. And again, sitting nice and tall, gaze over that back shoulder. Exhale, twist a little bit more if you can. Inhale, arms rise. Right hand comes down. Exhale, over. Feeling really long in that side body. Rooting down in that left hip. Inhale, rise. Exhale, over. Trying to rotate your ribs towards the sky, so don't round down, but open. Inhale, up. Feet together. And if this is uncomfortable for your knees, you can place your blocks or blankets underneath. Exhale, forward fold. Using your hands here to brace you. Finding that edge. Taking notice of where you're feeling this. Inhale, arms rise. Hands come down. So we'll move our blocks and blankets out of the way. We're going to come onto our hands and knees. And checking in with your alignment here, all joints should be stacked. So shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. And take a look in between your legs. If you can see your feet, scoot them so you can't see them anymore. Good, now we're all in line. We're gonna start off with cat and cow. We're gonna inhale, drop our belly, head, chest, and tail rises. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin and tailbone for cat. Inhale, slide into cow, really bringing that heart forward. Exhale, round into cat. Let's do 2 more rounds, linking your breath with your movement. And these breaths and movements can be as big or as small as you need them to be. After your last round, we'll meet in a table position, nice neutral spine. Adjusting your table if you feel like you've shifted. Inhale that right arm to the sky. Exhale, we're gonna thread it through, bringing our shoulder and cheek to the mat for thread the needle. Couple options here, you can stay here. You can take that left hand and reach it out in front of you, or you can wrap it around your back. A more stretch in that shoulder, you can sit your hips back just a little and feeling your shoulders slide on the mat for a little bit of a deeper stretch. Left hand returns down. Inhale that right arm to the sky and table. Good. Other side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, thread it through, shoulder and cheek to the mat, and taking whatever variation you took on the other side. So if you extended that arm long, or you wrapped it around your back, even if you sat your hips back just a little bit, let's go ahead and try it on this side. Feeling your breath here in this twisted position. Let's bring that hand back down. Inhale that left hand back to the sky and table. Good, let's tuck our toes underneath of us and send our hips to the sky for downward facing dog. So I'll turn to the side here so you can see me. Feet are about hip distance apart, so that's 2 fists in between your feet, so it's a lot smaller than people think. Hips are pointing up towards the sky, gaze is at your belly button or upper thighs here, allowing that neck to be nice and long. Biceps are rotating inwards towards our midline. You can kind of walk your dog here by pedaling your feet, really saying hello to the backs of those legs. Nice stretch here. Good. Let's come find stillness here. And we're just going to slowly begin to tiptoe our feet to our hands. Good, and I'm going to turn around here. Coming into a forward fold. This can be a lazy forward fold. Allow those knees to bend. Torso, head, arms all relaxed, releasing all tension, hanging free. Maybe you cup elbows here. And maybe you close your eyes as you just rock and sway. Almost like a rag doll here. Let's shake our head yes, releasing our neck. Shake our head no. And let's begin to roll up one vertebrae at a time, allowing our head to come up last. Nice roll of your shoulders. So let's come to the top of our mat. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. So we're folding from our hip creases here. Inhale, lift up halfway, hands to shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. Hands to heart center. So that's a sun breath. So let's go ahead and do that again. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. Hands to heart center. Good. Inhale, arms rise. Maybe you send your gaze there. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Let's go ahead and plant our hands on our exhale. Step our right foot back. Drop that back knee. Inhale, arms rise. Kneeling crescent lunge. So checking in with our alignment here. That knee should be right over that ankle. So if you have to scoot your foot out or in a little bit, go ahead and do that now, finding that stable base. Hands to heart center. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. And maybe you dive down and you bring that elbow to the outside of that knee. Gaze over that top shoulder. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, let's frame that foot, grabbing onto your blocks if you need it. We're going to slowly begin to shift our hips back, straightening this front knee for half split. We're going to come to the heel of that front foot and really opening up the back of that leg. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. So trying to bring that heart forward, keeping that back nice and long here. Try not to hunch down, but as you bring that heart forward, you straighten that back, you can really feel it in the back of that leg. It's all connected. Good, we're going to slowly begin to put a bend in that knee. Coming back to kneeling crescent lunge. So I'm going to turn forward. Good. Exhale, let's frame that foot. We're now going to take that foot, we're going to step it to the outside of our hand, coming into lizard pose. So you're here, but you have a couple options. You can tuck that back toe and lift that knee up off the mat. See how that feels for you. If not, let's go ahead back down. You can come on down to your forearms here. Or if you're not quite there, you can take your blocks, place your hands on the blocks, bringing the floor to you, or using them to go about halfway down. So you listen to your body here, taking notice of where you're feeling this, and remember to breathe. Sticking with your breath here, feeling that belly expand and fall. Just a couple more breaths here. If you're on your forearms, let's come on up to your hands. We're moving our blocks out of the way. And if you're on that back toe, let's go ahead and drop that back knee down. So we're going to tuck that back toe, and we're going to send this foot back into a downward facing dog. Front leg's going to go straight up in the air if you can. For a split dog, trying to keep your hips square, don't open them up. Good, downward facing dog, readjusting the alignment in your feet, hip distance apart if you need to. So your option, you can hop or step to your hands. Step here, hop, you're gonna come high on your toes, look forward, and hop. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. Hands to heart center. Good, so we'll do the other side. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Let's plant our hands. Step our left foot back now. Drop that back knee. Inhale up, kneeling crescent lunge. Checking in with your shoulders here. They should be sliding down your back. Try not to have them up by your ears. Slide them down. Good. Adjusting that front foot if you need to. Hands to heart center. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist, and maybe you dive down and bring that elbow. If not, you can just stay right here. Gaze over that back shoulder if you're down. And pushing your hands into one another really help open up that stretch. Inhale, unwind, and arms rise. Let's frame that foot. We're going to start to begin to shift those hips back, coming into that half split. So again, grabbing onto your blocks if you need them, coming onto the heel of that front foot. And breathing here. Remembering to bring that heart forward, back, nice and long. And let's start to put a bend into that knee. Arms rise, kneeling crescent lunge. And exhale. We're now going to take that foot and step it to the outside of our hand, setting up for lizard pose. So you're going to take whatever variation you took on the other side. So if you came down to your forearms, if you tucked that back toe and lifted that back knee up. And what you might find with hip stretches is that we are not symmetrical in movement and flexibility, and that's totally normal. So you might find that you might not be able to go as far on this side or vice versa. So listen to your body here and don't push past that edge too much. And as we stay here, our mind tends to wander. So let's bring it back. Stay with that discomfort. Stay with our breath. remembering to breathe. Only here for a couple more breaths. If you're on your forearms, let's come on up to our hands, removing our blocks out of the way. If you're up on that back toe, let's come on back down. And we're going to tuck that back toe and slowly come into downward facing dog, sending that front leg to the sky. And downward facing dog. And hop or step to your hands, so you can walk to your hands or high on your toes, look forward and hop. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. Hands to heart center. Good. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. Hands to heart center. So let's get a quick balance in here. We're gonna do tree, so setting up with our feet hip distance apart. Finding the four corners in your feet and really rooting down. We're now gonna start to shift the weight into our right foot, allowing that left foot to be nice and free. We're gonna start off right here in a kickstand. Hands to heart center. So if you want a little bit more, let's go ahead and slowly shift that foot up to our calf. Pushing your foot into your calf and your calf into your foot. Finding your gaze. Maybe it's at the screen, or maybe it's about 6 feet on the floor in front of you. If you want to go even further, you can go ahead and grab onto that foot and place it into your thigh. Pushing that foot into your thigh. And if you're not quite there, that's okay. Return it back to your calf. We want to avoid that knee as I fall. And if you fall, it's okay. You can come right back into it. If you want to grow your tree, you can grow your tree. Reminding ourselves that trees float in the wind as long as they have a stable root. They will always stand. Remembering to breathe. If you are holding your breath, you are cheating. If your tree is grown, let's go ahead and bring it down. And wherever your foot is, let's slowly release it back down. And let's just close our eyes here. Maybe taking notice of how one leg feels versus the other. How does that standing leg feel right now? Maybe it feels different. Let's go ahead and blink those eyes open, and we'll set up for the other side. So again, feet hip distance apart, finding the four corners of your feet and beginning to shift your weight into your left foot. Starting off with that kickstand, hands to heart center. If you want a little bit more, let's go ahead and bring that foot to your calf. And if you want to go a little bit further, go ahead and bring it up into your thigh. And what you might find, just like with lizard, is that one side might be a little different, and that's okay. Find your side, find your level, set your gaze, and balance. If you want to grow your tree, you can grow your tree. And maybe taking notice of that foot, that standing foot. Maybe you feel it moving ever so slightly to keep your balance, your body weight. Remembering to breathe. You can hold on to a wall if you need to, And if you fall out of it, that's okay, just laugh it off. Get back in there. If your tree is grown, let's go ahead and bring it down. And wherever your foot is, let's slowly release it down. Good. Shake it out. Good. Let's bring our big toes together, small gap in between our knees. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, sit our hips back, coming into chair pose. The weight in our feet should be more towards the back, so let's go ahead and lift those toes up off the mat. Good. Maybe sit back just a little bit more. And let's slowly lower all the way down as gracefully or as ungracefully as you want. We're going to bring the soles of our feet together. And again, if this is uncomfortable for your hips, you can place blankets, pillows, blocks underneath of them to kind of keep them up. Hands on our ankles. Inhale, lengthen our spine. Exhale, round down. And breathing here. Taking notice of how your belly feels on each inhale as we're rounded in this position. Maybe how your hips feel. Maybe how your upper back feels. Good. Inhale, slowly roll up. We're going to extend our legs long on the mat, keeping our feet nice and flexed. You can take your blanket if you want, or a pillow, and just sit your hips on there, allowing our hips to raise just a little bit. Good. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hinge forward, trying to keep that spine nice and straight, finding that edge. And then hanging out there, you can use your hands to brace yourself here. If your knees feel like they need to bend, go ahead and let them bend a little bit. You can grab onto your feet here if you want. And if you're not quite there, you can just allow your shins to, allow your arms to just drape over your shins. But again, trying to keep that back nice and long and straight. Try not to round down, but bring that heart forward, and you'll really feel that stretch in the back of that leg. Inhale, arms rise. And exhale, come down. Good. So one more time, feet together. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, round down. Again, feeling this in your hips, in your back, in your breath. Inhale, slowly rise. We'll remove our blanket out of the way. We're going to keep the soles of our feet together as we slowly roll back for reclined bound angle. I'll turn to the side. We're going to place one hand on our heart, one hand on our belly. And breathing here, returning to that breath if we've lost it. Taking our hands, let's together. So we're going to come into a supine twist. So your choice, a little bit of an easier twist. We're just going to allow our knees to float to one side, arms in a T position. If you want to go a little bit further with this twist, let's bring our knees into our chest and then twist. So if your knees are floating to the right, let's send our gaze to the left. Really nice supine twist here. Maybe you close your eyes. Taking notice here of your breath in this twisted position. How does it feel? Let's slowly bring our knees center, gaze center, and we'll switch sides. So if you had your soles of the feet on the mat, you can go ahead and twist down, gaze to the left now, or if you wanted to go a little bit further, knees in and twist. And maybe you close your eyes and just feel what you're feeling here. Feeling that breath. Allowing your mind to stay with your body. If it's wandered, acknowledge it and come back. So let's bring our knees center, gaze center, giving ourselves a big. We want to take happy baby. Bring the soles of our feet to the sky and grab onto them as we drive our knees down into the mat. And maybe you rock from side to side like a baby would do. Good, bringing our knees in. And we're going to set up for Shavasana, allowing our body to be nice and long on the mat. Shoulder blades tucked underneath of our body. Arms by our side, palms facing the ceiling, allowing it to open up our shoulders a little bit. Releasing all tension. Maybe starting off with our toes. Scanning up towards our shins. Rounding over our knees, into our thighs. Searching for any tension throughout our hips, into our belly and our ribs, feeling that breath, coming into our shoulders and relaxing them, sliding down our arms, releasing our fingers, allowing them to naturally curl. Taking notice of our neck, coming into our jaw, allowing it to relax, allowing our eyes to naturally close, taking notice of the full weight of our body on the mat as it's holding us up as we enter Shavasana. As we lay in Shavasana, let's go ahead and take a deep inhale in, open our mouth, and exhale. One more time. Deep inhale in and exhale. Let's start to bring life back into our body, wiggling our fingers, wiggling our toes. Maybe there's a slight rock of our head from side to side. Inhaling our arms above our head for a full body stretch. Feeling the lines of energy from our fingertips all the way down to our toes. And slowly bringing one knee in and another in. Giving ourselves a big squeeze and a big thank you for spending this time on yourself. When you're ready, we'll roll off to our right side using our arm as a pillow. And when you're ready, slowly coming to find a nice comfortable position. Seated position, eyes closed, hands at heart center. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through this practice. The light within me recognizes and honors the light in each and every single one of you. May you be at peace and of peace. Namaste. Thank you all. I hope you found this very useful or enjoyed spending this time on yourself, finding your breath, finding your movement. Hang in there, guys.